You've done it. You spent all that time, maybe even weeks, building what you think is the perfect website. You got the colors just right, the copy is sharp, you hit publish, and nothing. It's like you've opened up this amazing shop but in the middle of nowhere. Where is everyone?
Look, if that feels familiar, you are definitely not alone. The internet is a seriously crowded place. Just building something doesn't guarantee people are going to find it. But what if there was a playbook, a set of rules, straight from Google, that tells you exactly how to get noticed? Well, that's what we're going to dig into today.
So here's the game plan. We're going to start with the single most important rule of all. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty, the practical do's and don'ts for your content. We'll cover the technical stuff you absolutely can't skip, and we'll finish up with the big red flags, the things that can actually hurt your site. All right, so what is the big secret to Google search? Honestly, it's so much simpler than you think, and it's the foundation for everything else we're about to talk about. The golden rule: you got to focus on people, not algorithms. This right here, this is the whole game. Every single time you go to create a new page or write an article or add anything to your website, you just need to ask yourself one simple question. Am I doing this to genuinely help a real person, or am I just trying to play the system? Seriously, if you just keep this one idea in your head, you are already way ahead of the curve.
So following that golden rule really begins with your content. It has to be stuff that people actually want to read and use and maybe even share with a friend. But how do you know if you're really on the right track?
Think of this as your quality control checklist. Before you hit publish, just run through these questions. Are you just saying what everyone else has already said, or are you bringing something new to the table, like your own research or a unique perspective? Does it actually show that you know what you're talking about from firsthand experience? And, here's the real gut check. Is this a page you would personally save for later or send to a friend? If the answer is, probably not, then it's not ready yet.
Now, Google has a framework its systems use to try and find this kind of quality content. They call it EEAT. Don't worry, it's not some factor you can just optimize for. It's more of a concept that guides their systems. It stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and the big one, trustworthiness. It's all about proving you're a credible source, and trust is absolutely the most important piece of that puzzle.
Okay, so we know what to do, but let's flip that around, because knowing what not to do is just as important. Let's look at some of the common warning signs that you might be focusing a little too much on the search engine and not enough on your actual audience.
So it really all boils down to your motivation. Why are you making this content? Is your number one goal to get clicks from Google, or is it to serve an audience that would find you valuable even if search engines didn't exist? If it's all about the clicks, that's a huge red flag that your priorities might be a little backward. Oh, this is a big one. If you're working on a page and you realize you're just kind of summarizing 5 other articles, just stop. Ask yourself, what unique value am I adding here? For example, don't just write another post on how to bake sourdough. Add your own story. Talk about the mistakes you made. Give a unique tip for a better crust. Show a video of your process. That's value. And please, ignore anyone who says an article needs to be 2,000 words long. Google has said it a million times. They do not have a preferred word count.
And of course, we have to talk about AI. Google's stance on this is actually pretty clear. The tool isn't the problem, it's the intent behind it. Using AI to help you brainstorm or structure an article? Totally fine. Using it to pump out hundreds of generic, low-quality pages just to try and rank for keywords? Yeah, that's going to get you flagged for spam.
Okay, so you've created some amazing people-first content. That's fantastic. But if Google's bots can't even find or understand your site, it's like writing a brilliant book and then locking it in a vault. So let's cover the technical keys you need to give Google. To get why the techie stuff matters, here's a super quick rundown of how Google search works. First, its little robots, called crawlers, travel the web to crawl and discover your pages. Next, they index those pages. Basically, they analyze them and store them in a gigantic library. And finally, when someone searches, Google serves up the best results from that library. Our job with the technical stuff is to make those first 2 steps, crawling and indexing, as smooth and easy as possible for Google. The good news is, you don't have to be a tech genius to get the basics right. These 4 things are pretty much non-negotiable today. In fact, do a quick test right now. Pull up your site on your phone. Can you read everything easily without pinching and zooming? That's mobile friendliness. Does it load in just a couple of seconds? That's page speed. Do you see that little padlock icon next to your URL? That means it's secure. These simple checks are so crucial for helping both Google and your visitors trust your site. So far, we've focused on all the good stuff, what you should do, but there's a dark side. Tactics that are designed purely to trick search engines, and using these can get your site ranked lower, or worse, completely removed from search results. Let's be crystal clear on what to avoid. First up is an old, classic mistake, keyword stuffing. This is when you try to jam your main keyword into a page over and over and over again. You know, a page that says, "We sell the best blue widgets. Our blue widgets are high-quality blue widgets. Buy our blue widgets today because they are the best blue widgets." It just sounds awful and unnatural, because it is, and trust me, Google spots this a mile away.
Next is something called cloaking, and this one is just straight-up deception. It's a bait and switch. You show one page full of keywords to Google's bots, but when a real person clicks the link, you show them something completely different. Because this is designed to mislead everyone, Google takes this violation very, very seriously. Think of links from other websites as votes of confidence. They're a sign of your site's reputation. Well, link spam is any attempt to fake those votes. This is stuff like buying or selling links, or creating a bunch of fake websites just to link back to your main one. The only way to build a real reputation is to earn those links naturally by having great content that people want to link to.
And this kind of brings us full circle back to the AI point. Scaled content abuse is all about mass-producing low-quality pages. It really doesn't matter how it's done, by a human, a script, or an AI. If your main goal is just to flood search engines with a huge amount of low-value stuff, it's spam, period. So, after all that, it really just comes down to one final question. As you build your site, as you create new content, always ask yourself this. Is this page I'm making a genuine attempt to provide an answer, to solve a real person's problem, or to satisfy their curiosity? Or is it just a hollow attempt to chase a #1 ranking? Because your answer to that question is what will ultimately determine your success.